Now, Peter Mathews is a professor of political science at Cyprus College and joins us live now from Los Angeles. Peter, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Just to give us some background, we know that Trump has been controversial many times, but why is this time so much more controversial?
This time is much more controversial because the actual words were recorded and put out there. For example, he talked about his daughter in very physical terms, physical and sexual terms, and that's completely unacceptable to most Americans, and he's gone beyond the pale this time. And so the Republican Party is in a big conundrum. You know, they've got it, they cannot force him to leave or replace him unless he leaves voluntarily. Rule number 9 in the Republican National Committee's code allows them to replace him if he leaves voluntarily. But he says he's not going to leave at all, and to bring Mr. Pence in, even if he were to leave voluntarily, the ballots have been printed, many people have voted already in the early voting, and so it's going to be virtually impossible to replace him. So what are they going to do? Are there local Republicans running for the U.S. Senate and House from the local states and districts going to disavow him, as some already have, in which case they lose his supporters in those close elections in the borderline, what's called the battleground states. So, for example, Kelly Ayotte in New Hampshire, she's in a big conundrum. She was going back and forth trying to say whether she supports him, she'll vote for him, but doesn't endorse him, etc., back and forth. Finally, she disavowed him today. So that's happening. John McCain disavowed him, as you folks mentioned a little earlier. This is a big problem for the Republican Party right now, and tomorrow night's debate is going to be sizzling, or at least it's going to be a lot of big audience will watch it for sure.
And also in terms of Trump's damage control at the moment, do you think Melania's statement has helped at all?
I mean, certainly it's going to help with some people, but again, this is a game of fractions, of tiny little percentages, because it's fought state by state, and some of the states that are battleground states, Trump was only ahead by 1% or behind by 1%, and if Melania's statement was good for some of the Republicans and independent voters to come back, then that's fine. That might allow him to hold on to those electoral votes. But more than likely, if he loses even 1 or 2% in those close border battleground states, he will lose the election. And his numbers have actually gone down quite a bit. Hillary actually went up by about 4 or 5 points altogether ahead of him at this point. And that began a couple of weeks ago, even before this last fiasco. This last fiasco and horrible statements that he made about women, denigrating them, putting them down, objectifying them, and just completely disrespecting them is going to cost him very dearly. And I'm not sure Melania could save him this time. Melania Trump's actual statement could save him. It was a very interesting statement because she said that she hopes people will forgive her husband, that he's actually a leader, and that she hopes that they'll focus on the real issues of the day, like jobs and the economy, et cetera. But that's coming from a wife, a loyal wife. So let's see what happens, if people believe that or not.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, Peter Mathews, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts on that live for us from Los Angeles.
My pleasure. Thank you.